to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check waifu. Ma, tell him, is that you?
Yes, sir. What's happening?
This is episode 189 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Lube Complex. Make sure you go to lubecomplex.com and check out their new launches. They just did a collab with another clothing company that looks fucking sick. So make sure you check them out there. Go to don'ttalkshop.com and get access to this hat. If you're a Patreon supporter, you get early access to the video version. You get to see the hat I'm wearing. But and use the code waifu15 to save 15% off your first order at don'ttalkshop.com. We appreciate y'all for doing that. It's also brought to you by our Patreon producer, AB, Aaron Brown, Dre the Go G, Johnny from Shogo High, Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture Podcast, and Shogo High. Explicitly, Monique Williams, Nachi, and Saphir. Saphir, thank you so much for supporting this and many other episodes of the podcast. We appreciate each and every last one of our Patreon supporters. It means a lot. Thank you so much for supporting us. If you support us over at patreon.com/miccheckwaifu, you get early access to the video version of the podcast. You get access to the bonus podcast, the After Story. The After Story 55 went up on Saturday. It was a great episode. Going woke for all the wrong reasons is the name of that one.
Great name.
Great name. Yeah, check that episode out. It was a good talk, good conversation. We also discussed the movie The Menu, which I'm seeing a lot of shit about now ever since we talked about it. Funny enough, they listen.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I saw a review from my favorite movie reviewer, Jeremy Johns, about it.
What do you say?
Pretty damn good. So
that's crazy.
I might have to pick that joint up too. I'm glad I didn't have you fully spoil it. Just gave me a little taste of it, pun intended. Seems like a good movie though. We should check that. Make sure y'all check out patreon.com. Again, the watch alongs with Tell season 4, episode 4 of Bungo Stray Dogs.
The next one's gonna be episode 5.
Next one's gonna be episode 5, but episode 4 is up there now. Check that out. Those watch alongs are fun. And then you got me coming this week for real this time. I had to upgrade my PC, so I couldn't do it last week like I was supposed to. But my PC is upgraded, so the read along will be up on Patreon. I'm shooting for Wednesday. I'm trying to record it on Monday after I get finished editing this episode. But yeah, I digress. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm in a great mood tonight, because tonight will be the Mic Check Waifu quintessential winter season anime watch list that we feel that you should be watching. Okay, we did a poll on our Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at Mic Check Waifu. And we polled you guys to ask how many episodes can you watch in this winter season. We know it's about 31 specifically, because we've been watching all of them. So, all of them that we felt was worth watching anyway.
Right.
So the poll came back and it's between 5 and 10 episodes that people can watch. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a list of 10 by each giving you, from each one of us, 5 specific anime that we feel like you should be watching. Obviously, our lists are going to be different. We're not going to share the same anime. We don't know which anime we're going to pick, but we're going to make sure that we don't have the same anime in this 10 list by each bringing you 5. Okay. Get it? Got it? Good. All right, I'm in a great mood today, like I said, but tell how you feeling, brother.
Man, it's real good. It was a little bit of a busier week for me last week. I picked up some days I wasn't expecting to pick up, but it's been a real good week. Love
to hear that.
Been we working out, getting to where I need to be. So it's been good. My grandmother's out the hospital. So it's been good, it's been real good. How about you, Polo?
Better week for me. Like I said, I finally got the piece I need on my PC to upgrade. upgraded my PC, which means that now when I'm on it, it doesn't just turn off and reset automatically. My graphics card was a little bit too powerful. My graphics card upgrade was a little bit too powerful for my CPU. So it wasn't able to keep up, and it kept restarting the PC at random times, especially when I was like trying to game or whatever. So now that that's fixed, I should be able to edit without an issue, record without an issue, stream without an issue, and also game. So
all the issues out the window.
All the issues gone now. We back. And I've been testing it the last few days, and it's been working extremely well, and I'm so happy about that. Also been talking to moms a lot, and my mom and my sister. We've been keeping in touch way better than usual.
I love it.
Yeah, that's been making me feel a lot better too. So I'm in a good place right now. I'm just waiting for Tel to get this piece in so I could drive an hour away to my gym and get these gains going. More so, get the weight loss going. You know, I'm on a personal journey. If you listen to the after story, I think we talked about that in the last 3 episodes that we released.
Yeah, within those episodes we talked about a little
somewhere
bit.
In there. It had to. But yeah, I love the after story, dude. I just love it. I think y'all will love it too. The after story is only in video version on the Patreon, but if you have the Patreon app, you can watch the video and minus the app and still go about your business and listen to it like a podcast. So if that was keeping you away, download that Patreon app. It's not the best, but it gets the job done.
It definitely does. It ain't hurt me yet.
Tel, what was your episode of the week this week?
My episode of the week actually, it was a kind of a close one for me, but I went with the Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess. Okay. Which one I'm not sure if you're watching, but man, this latest episode was something else, bro. Something else.
I'm trying not to go there again. It's cool. It's really hard not to go there. The Angel Next Door spoils me rotten, man, again.
It's cool. I understand, because that was the hard choice I had to make here.
Oh, that was
a hard choice.
Really fucking good, man. It constantly improves on everything I said last week. The same thing this week. If you ain't listening last week, go back and listen to just the beginning of it and when I said that this was episode of the week, because the fucking characters are so good. It's so good. The progression, the pacing, everything is so good. It's been absolutely perfect so far. So, yeah, Angel Next Door.
Beautiful episode.
Beautiful fucking episode, man. It's crazy because normally I haven't felt like that connection in anything since Christina Milian and Nick Cannon and Love Don't Cost a Thing. I know I bring that movie up a lot. I really like that fucking movie. But you know the part where she dressed them up nice and she had them all like, I guess back then would be swagged up. You know what I'm saying? He was fresh. He was fitted. And he was doing that mirror look, and he was looking in the mirror. And it's a cinematography thing maybe, but when the camera was on him and he was practicing his I guess the kids call it the Riz look now or whatever. Mm-hmm. When he was practicing his mirror rubbing Birdman hands and he was looking in the mirror with his eyes all his light skin look. He was practicing his light skin look in the mirror. And Christina Milian was just staring at him and looking at him, and she started biting her lip and shit. It's that connect. I haven't felt that connection since this anime. It's crazy. They really had a connection because they were dating at the time. So I guess that's why it was so good. But like, it's crazy. I just correlated this anime to Love Don't Cost a Thing. But still,
the anime, The Angel Next Door spoils me rotten. It is one of those things where it's just like it's very hard to compete with it on a wholesome level. And the reason I was really like laughing because the Wonder of Anime, she had posted a reel on Instagram talking about some miscommunication plots in anime and how she hates them. And it's like, yo, that's 100% what this is not.
Exactly.
Ain't no miscommunication here, bro.
No, that's what makes it so good. Yeah.
It's so good.
It's just it's coming to understanding your feelings when you're just perfect on both sides. Anyway, we got to stop because we're gonna save the rest of this for the spoiler talk. Obviously, spoiler talk. My Hero Academia. Angel Next Door spoils me rotten. I mean, what else? Anything else?
I'm gonna say nothing really necessarily is too hot this week outside of that we would both watch. Maybe Vinland Saga.
Maybe Eminence.
Eminence, yeah, we can do that. There was some stuff there.
Yeah, definitely some stuff there. No. Misfit Demon King Academy 2.
Yep.
Let's do that. All that damn dialogue.
Okay.
Anyway. All right, bro. Damn, should we already get to the topic of the show?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hit it.
All right, let's hit it. Again, today's topic is us creating the quintessential list of 10 anime you should be watching this winter 2023 season. All right, Tel, I'm gonna have you go first.
Oh my goodness. All right. So easy enough. I'm gonna say the one I actually just mentioned, The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. That was my episode of the week, but I think this one is 100% worth watching because
how many episodes you got so far?
Let's see, where we at? 5. Yeah. So the 4th episode is what we just watched. The 5th episode will be out in when this podcast release. But the reason for this anime specifically is because it comes off as like you think it's gonna be like that shonen isekai kind of thing, but it really is way more character driven. It's all about relationships, and it's still a lot of like thought process in terms of how the magic is in this world, but it's all about the relationships between the family, the servants, the kingdom, and it's extremely kind of it's fresh in that manner, bro. It's crazy, and it had my episode of the week this week because last week we got this really nice moment between the two main characters, but then this week we got an elaboration on top of that.
Okay.
That kind of expanded into why our main character does the things she does, and it gave us almost like this great bit of like character building amongst all the characters within the castle. It was great. So let's culminate this real quick because I want to make sure we have this concise and clear for our listeners. Mm-hmm. This show is great with it. It does a different take on the isekai genre by focusing solely on character building. Mm-hmm.
That's what makes this one special.
Yeah, straight character development, growth kind of scenarios, gotcha. Relationships.
Love that. Now I actually might pick it up myself because I'm not watching it. Like I said, it's about 31 shows that is on my personal list that I've watched, that I watch every week, give or take -2. Now, before I want to get to my selection for my number 5 pick, I do want to say that there are some shows that I did drop. Not necessarily drop, but I'm not really trying to keep up on. And I kind of want to elaborate this on a little bit further after we get done with my number 5. But I can't seem to want to watch Bungo Stray Dogs. I can't. For some reason, every time I look at them, like, I don't feel like watching. Now, it's not that it's bad.
Right.
It's not that I'm not looking forward to it. But every time I've watched Bungo Stray Dogs, it was in a binged manner. And it always felt better that way for me. So every time I turn this on and then I'm watching it and it doesn't, I don't feel as connected to it as I did my previous watches with the seasons because again, I watch it in a binge form.
Yeah. I feel like it's like an emotional thing too. Like you imagine sitting down watching the episode of Bungo Stray Dogs and you got to wait next week.
I know. Yeah.
That don't feel good.
It don't feel good at all. And that's why I'm like, okay, to be fair, I am 2 episodes behind. So, me personally, I'm probably going to like wait a little bit more for that one, unless, it get crazy, and then go to patreon.com/MikeCheckWaifu and then catch up by watching Tales watch-alongs, and enjoy it that way, to be honest, because I think that'd be fun. So that's just what I might do. Now, to my number 5. My number 5 is one that, for some reason, we always end up being an isekai podcast. It's not intentional. This shit just happens. But Chilling in My 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army is a show that I feel like is totally worth everybody's time this week. Or not this week, but weekly. It's funny. It has some comedic beats that is extremely, again, just, it actually makes you laugh out loud in a sense because of the situations that our main character get put in. But it's a great main character. And you feel, and And to be fair, it's not even really an isekai. It's just this world is just a fantasy world, right? It's nobody got reincarnated or anything like that or brought to this world. So I guess I'm mistaken when I say isekai because it's not. It's just a fantasy show in which somebody who's literally 30, early 30s, gets fired from the Demon King army, and they have to survive. You start to learn more about the main character and in the town and the village that he's in. You meet great characters, silly moments. Like I said, it's just a fun, wholesome, good show so far, which still has some deeper, larger story elements. You know what I mean? And those story elements are like, they kind of go deep when it comes to what's going on in the background. There's a foreground story and there's a background story, and the background story is huge for the foreground. So I think it's a good show. Definitely worth to watch on a weekly. Yeah, so what do you think about Chilling in My 30s?
All right. Chilling in My 30s, I think I like, and I know this is going to sound kind of funny. I can't even remember the name of the anime. The Demon Lord worked at the McDonald's or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah, what's the name of it? Shit!
I know we should know that, right?
The listeners are fucking screaming at the radio.
I know, right? Wow.
Crystal is definitely yelling at us. Devil's the part timer.
Devil's the part timer. Yes, my bad.
I heard you, Crystal. I heard you.
Don't kick me in my chin. It reminds me of Devil's a part timer if it was actually funny.
Oh, you gotta stop.
Yes, I like Chilling in My 30s. It's actually it's a fun anime.
It is very fun. Now, before we get into your number 4, I gotta discuss something with you.
Here we go.
I'm kind of not feeling the comebacks. Now, what I mean by that is the comebacks like Tokyo Revengers, mostly because I read it, so I kind of know what's going on there, and it is very accurate to the manga. I definitely it took me a while to get into it again, but as soon as One Piece and Tokyo Revengers happened, I knew that. I'm like, I know exactly what's going on now. But I'm not feeling too pressed about watching it. Missed this episode this week. Vinland Saga. I was talking to Ked the Pro on our Twitter at My Chick Waifu, and he was talking about season 1 was a slow burn and blah 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 about Vinland Saga, and that's not true. Season 1 of Vinland Saga was almost perfectly paced in my personal opinion. Ooh, that's a lot of P's.
Alliteration.
The alliteration, we love it. But I think season 1 was great. I thought it was top tier with the way it moved. This time it just feels blah. And I kind of feel like Thorfinn. I don't even give a fuck about anything that happens now in this show because, last season it kind of wrapped. It kind of wrapped up the story of what Thorfinn kind of been going through for the most part. And it's just supposed to take us on a new journey. Now I do believe that this probably will pick up. According to Dad Needs to Talk, if we keep watching it, it's going to be something sick. And that's cool. But maybe I'm just maybe now I'm not patient for the shonen anymore, or as patient as I was for the shonen when I first, started this podcast back in the day. Because a lot of the shows that are just pure shonen, pure action shit, I just don't be getting into no more.
So, I mean, that's reasonable, but also we know what to expect coming from this, right? If this was some fresh new shonen, I think we'd be a little bit more engaged. And I mean, because let's even be real. When we watched Fire Force, we were all in on Fire Force, and Fire Force is very, very shonen anime. Very, we just really like how they do the world building and the story and everything like that. So I think that there's obviously some missed points here, and it could be the fact that Vinland Saga is extremely real, so they don't have to explain a lot of the world.
Right.
So that also could take away from what we see in the whole mysticism of the show. It loses some of that magic because of that. But yeah, like I said, we already know kind of what to expect. Even if we didn't get a refresher on season 1, even if whatever happened, this right now, I'll say it does feel a little slow because I feel like in the first 1 to 2 episodes of season 1, we was getting Thorfinn's dad going out to fight, and then boom, Thorfinn's dad dead, and and Thorfinn is all smoke until then, you know, until it's done. So I feel like, I mean, I kind of agree with you on that aspect that maybe season 1 was better paced. And some of this does feel dragged out, but I guess they have to kind of tell the story in a way. But there's some parts they could just, you know, move a little bit, expedite a little bit, just a little bit, just to get us where it bites its teeth or sinks its teeth into us, you know. And
now maybe that'll cause us to complain about the pacing being rushed or whatever. Listen, there's a time and a place for everything. Okay, world building and lore can be done as fast as you want it to be, as long as it's good. Still, it has to still be good. And I think we already know the world of Vinland Saga. We already know the world of the characters. We can speed past some of this bullshit that we're kind of going through right now. Mm-hmm. We can go straight to Thorfinn's headspace. We can go straight to what Thorfinn is kind of going through to kind of readjust to his mission being basically and utterly a fucking bomb because he didn't necessarily get to complete it the way he wanted to complete it. Right. So like, I understand. I get it. Okay. But like it could be done better. And there's no excuse because My Hero season 6 is doing it so well right now. Minus these last 2 episodes needing to literally just be flipped. If these last 2 episodes was flipped, this should still be flawless right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Vinland Saga is cool, and I'm looking forward to whatever Dad needs to talk that we're gonna love. But right now, I'm just kind of chilling. I'm not really rushing or pressing. Now, by the time you hear this, episode 5 would be dropped or 4 would be dropped. And it could pop off because this comes out on Tuesday. Episode 4 comes. We record this on Sunday. Episode 4 comes out on Monday. This episode drops on Tuesday. So we are we're technically a lag behind. So shit could already be popping off, and I could be like, my mind could be blown up. Vinland Saga's great, but I doubt it. I doubt it. We'll see though. We'll see. I've been wrong before, and I'm man enough to admit it. Moving on to number 4, Tell.
All right. My number 4, y'all heard me talk about on here before. Look at that. Before number 4. All right. But it's Sugar Apple Fairy Tale.
Yeah. Okay.
It is. So I kind of find this hilarious, right? You know how we get that adventure fantasy anime is in that segment, right? But what's really cool about this is that it is adventure kind of fantasy, but it doesn't feel like the adventure battle fantasy, you know. This leans and a lot of this, and it could be because these last 2 seasons I've really been trying to get in my slice of life bag. This anime as well, very relationship driven. There is some action in here, but what I love about this is the how our 2 main characters navigate this relationship of, you know, master and servant, or master and slave, more or less, and how they're navigating this world, and even how we're going to get to what our main character's ultimate goal is. The guy main character, he is exactly what he says he is, and he doesn't sugarcoat anything, even though it's a sugar anime. And our lead woman character, she has a goal. She's not like shaky on it, and she sets out to do exactly what she planned on doing, and that's what she's go for. She seems like a character that stands on her word, and it's a very also another like light anime that just feels like, you know, right. Like you start to really develop a care for some of these characters in this show. So yeah, definitely another one that I would say is a must watch for this season. It gives me think of like Ancient Magus Bride, okay, without it being the Ancient Magus, more or less. But it's more like almost flipped. Like imagine if the Ancient Magus was beholden to that girl, like where he had to do everything she said, more or less. Okay, but with a little bit more care put into that. I can't say into that relationship because they had a really good relationship, but with more care put into how she addresses her ownership of him. So it's a really cool concept. I enjoy it. I know Dad Needs to Talk said it was similar to another one he watched in the previous season about a raven. So it to me is really good, really clean, fresh kind of another fresh take on it.
Interesting. Now this is where it gets a little tough for me. This is my number 4, right?
Yes, you're number 4, sir. What you got for us? Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I want to put a caveat out here because we were just talking about this before we started recording. Let me give my number 4 and then we'll put out the caveat. Okay. My number 4 is going to be Farming in Another World. Now, Farming in Another World is so fucking cute, man. It's just absolutely adorable. It's about it's an isekai. Yes, I know. It's an isekai, but it's about a guy who basically had the worst luck. And I talked about this in our first episode of the winter season about him being sickly. He from the moment he was born, he was always sick, permanently in the hospital bed until he finally kicked the bucket in his early 20s, mid 20s. Then he meets God. God says, look, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I gave you the punishment of someone who didn't deserve it. You didn't deserve the life you had. So this time I'm going to give you the choices to live in whatever lifestyle you want and whatever kind of world you want. And not whatever world you want, but whatever kind of lifestyle you want. And this wholesome guy said, when I was laying in a hospital bed, the only thing I did was watch farming videos. And I always wanted to become a farmer. So God was like, wait, you don't want great power? You don't want this? You don't want that? Nope. I just want to be able to farm and live my life different than what I've had in previous life. And God hooked him up. God reached out to the God of agriculture and they gave him this tool that he can basically use to transform at any time. And he starts his life in this forest where he builds his farm home. And it's literally just him living a farming life. And they're teaching you about the way different crops grow and just different ways to build bathrooms and water canals and wells and all kinds of little neat stuff. But it's adorable. The characters are so likable. You even love some of these animals that come get involved into the show. It's a great show. And I definitely do think it's worth watching. I find it to be adorably enjoying. Like, I watch it with a smile on my face. You know how we find those shows all the time where we just watch it and a joy. Now, some might find it boring, but this is my list. So this is my 5. So this is more so along the lines of people who are closer to the slice of life side of anime. I mean, to be fair, outside of what Tell's been describing here recently, which seems to be him leaning towards that more that way too. But but I do think Farming Life in Another World is definitely worth being on this list for sure. Now, to slide to the caveats. The caveat we established during this particular list that we're creating is the shows that are unfortunately delayed. There are 2 particular shows that are delayed. One is not delayed quite yet, but one is, and that's Nier Automata, is delayed, I think, until about April due to COVID reasons. And same with Kubo. I can guarantee you both Nier and Kubo will both been on our list if it wasn't delayed. I think Kubo is delayed after episode 4 or 5. Shout out to TCB NYC who joined our Discord. You can join our Discord too. Links are in the announcement link of this podcast, or just Google might check Waifu Discord. But yeah, they're delayed to April. I think Kubo was delayed after episode 5. So after episode 5, 6 through the rest of it is delayed, unfortunately, until April. So you could just think of that as another core. Maybe that will still be eligible. No, it won't be. But yeah, I do think that those would definitely been on our list.
Easy.
So unfortunately, we can't choose those. But Tell can choose something for his number 3.
All right, so my number 3, Tomo-chan is a girl. So I don't know if Polo been watching this one at all.
Yes.
Do you like this one?
Yes.
I really like this a whole fucking lot, bro.
And I love the fact that it's dubbed by two great dub voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
One of them we're trying to get on the
is
show.
it English dubbed already?
No, the English it's a simul dub, bro.
I've been watching this in English the whole time.
The male character is the voice of Lemillion. And he's the main character of Grimgar and Fantasy and Ash. He's a great voice actor.
Yes. Okay. So I do need to watch it dub, but I've been really enjoying this, especially like so seeing how Junichiro kind of handles that relationship.
Talk to him about the show first. Let him know what it is about.
All right. So Tomo-chan is a girl is about a relationship with these three friends, right? And essentially these three friends all have these very different personalities, but it's mostly about Tomo-chan, who has a crush on Junichiro, and Junichiro also has a crush on her, likewise. But
we don't know that yet.
Well, we don't officially know it, but Tomo-chan is like she's very, you can say, masculine presenting. She's a bigger, stronger girl, and she acts like a guy. Yeah, tomboy. That's exactly what it is. She acts like a guy. She does everything that her guy friends do. So she's trying to get into a space where she can be a little bit more open with how she feels about Junichiro. I love how.
Let me help you out here. Let me tag in.
Go ahead, because I know you want to be a part of it.
So the first episode is literally her confessing her love to her best friend, which is the guy that Tell is describing as Junichiro. Like, that's literally the first minute of the first episode. But because she's so masculine and tomboyish, he just kind of sees her as the bro. And what she's trying to do is, as Tell said, is present herself in a more feminine way so then they can become more of a couple. That's what the show is about. And it's fucking hilarious. It's so good.
It's great.
It's so good. Just for a little fun fact, the girl that what's her name? The blonde haired girl?
Carol.
Carol. The girl that played Carol, who voices her in Japanese, also voiced her in the English dub, which is dope.
Let's go.
That's fucking
That's
dope.
why when she spoke English, it didn't seem like she was absolutely just trash at it.
Yeah. It's great. It's a great show. I can't believe I'm shocked that you're watching this one.
What do you mean? I love Tomo-chan as a girl.
I didn't know you were watching it too, though.
Oh, my bad. I ain't speak up.
No, I didn't know it was going to be on your list either. I
didn't think you was watching this one. I was like, yo, this one definitely gonna go under Polo radar. But my bad.
I definitely is. That's crazy. That was a big surprise. Okay. All right. Anything in between we want to throw in here? No. My number 3.
Yeah, number 3, bro.
Bro, this is crazy. My number 3 is going to be campfire cooking in another world with an upsurge skill. You watching this one?
Yep.
Thank goodness. I already talked to y'all about how this starts, but it's about a businessman who accidentally gets summoned with some students who are heroes in this world. So he's caught in this world, but he's just a regular salary man in Japan who's brought to this world with the skill of online grocery. And it's hilarious because what the skill allows him to do is he basically online orders food in this world, this medieval world where people has never seen anything like, this cuisine. And he literally just is starting his adventure cooking, and it's animated by Mappa, which is very strange because it's really just like a normal show. Like, this is something like you would see, I don't know, somebody like Silverlink producing or something like that. Somebody who's not as pronounced as Mappa. But yeah. Mappa is also animating this on top of 8 other shows this season. But it's a funny show, man. It's a really good show. Basically, our main character gets involved with essentially you can call him a deity, and they go on adventures from here. But the price that our main character has to pay is to making sure he cooks the deity some great food. And I promise you, you will laugh. I promise you will love the way this food look. I promise you will love like the main character. It's so far has been so good.
It's been so good. And I'm gonna just throw in here real quick. Bro be caramelizing onions for every meal. Every meal he caramelizing onions.
I think that's a Japanese thing, but you're right.
He'll be cooking. He like, and then you throw in the onions and use it to deglaze and then caramelize. Wait till they caramelize. All right, bro.
That's like the 7 meal you caramelize the onions for.
It's like 3 times a day you cooking for Fenrir. It is wild. How much does bro eat? And but it's like on top of all of that, like just thinking about, because it's not, I don't even think it's really like technically like a funny anime, but it's just funny when you kind of like look at it and think about it like that. Yes. But it's like, it's also just like so chill. It is 100% like we're going in. What is he going to pull out of his bag this time? What is he going to get from the grocery store this time? And it's dope just to kind of see like if you were in another world, like you just drop groceries in from somewhere else, and just like how amazing it is. And not to mention the stat buffs. It's wild.
It's crazy. Yeah, we learning more and more about that as it goes on. But definitely check that one out. I enjoy it, man. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. Even if you're not like that pressed on like isekai stuff. It's just a fun story. To Tales number 2.
So this one for me is gonna be me getting back into the isekai. But Reborn to Master the Blade. This is one about essentially, and I don't think I've talked about this one much, but this is one of the ones I've been waiting for the most week to week. Basically, this is about a king who dies and is reincarnated. You know, he's given a chance to be reincarnated into the world again, and his goal was to no longer just be the king. It's similar to like, what's the other one? The Strongest Exorcist. It's similar to that in the sense of this guy was the greatest king, left a great kingdom behind. Died in I don't have it in a specific order.
Oh, okay, I'm just asking like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's not in a specific order. This ain't specifically number 2. Okay, my bad. Polo did his in a specific order. But this one is about essentially he gets reincarnated into a world where he can be the strongest, but he's not. He's actually practicing his blade skills. And it's actually for me just been mad enjoyable in terms of like, let's just go out and see what the world has to offer. A pretty good palate cleanser for me.
Damn, man. I'm shocked that you didn't choose this one, but I guess I'm gonna have to. My number 2. This is really tough, man. I don't know what your number 1 is gonna be.
You don't. And I'm pretty sure you don't. You're not gonna be watching my number 1.
This is fucked up because there's 2 I want to put in here. There's 3 I want to put in here, but I only got 2 left.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want to put this one in. So which one do I think is more worth it than being in there?
Strategy games.
Oh, it sucks, man. This is gonna suck. I just gotta hope that this is your number 1. You said that I'm not watching it?
You're not watching the one I'm watching.
Fuck, bro. How are we gonna miss this one out of this list? I don't understand these shits that you added to your list at all. I don't know why you feel like these are must watches, but it's stressing me out because the one you just mentioned does not deserve to be in there over the reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in another world. It doesn't need to be in there opposed to this. But I cannot complete this list without saying Trigun. Trigun belongs in this fucking list.
But hear me out. I didn't think we were doing that.
No, you can't. This is a new Trigun. This is brand new. It's brand new.
I didn't think we were doing it like that.
It's brand new.
I didn't think we were doing like that. I would have put Trigun in.
And it's fucking fire, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's fire. This is a must watch. You have to be watching this one this season. This Trigun
was given.
In my opinion, this Trigun is better than the OG Trigun. I said it. I am enjoying it more.
Better.
It's way better. The pacing is so much better. And I think it deserves to be on this list. So there's no way in hell. Even though my number 2 was going to be the reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in another world, because I thought Tail was going to put Trigun in there somewhere. I got to put Trigun in there as my number 2.
You got to hear me out. I was thinking Trigun didn't count because it was a given. It's Trigun. They brought it back.
But it's cleaner. It's been amazing, take that off
your list. It's guaranteed. People got to watch Trigun anyway, man. It don't count. Put something else.
This is that's an honorable mention. We don't have honorable mentions in the quintessential list.
I'm looking at the camera. I ain't looking at Polo no more. Obviously, watch Trigun.
That's crazy.
I gotta tell y'all to watch Trigun on the list, bro. Come on, all right.
But there's still 3 more that I would have put in there if I thought, to be honest, okay. 2 of the things that you said, I didn't think were going to be on your list at all. I don't know what the fuck those other ones was. I didn't see them being there. But Reincarnation, I thought you was going to have, and Trigun, I thought you was going to have. Okay, so then I'm like, well, fuck. Now I'm stuck between this one, and this one, and this one, which is the 2 that I was okay with being stuck with. But like,
well,
so okay.
I would have, if I had known you was thinking Trigun, I would have rearranged some things.
We're gonna make this list 11.
Like that.
Fuck it. Huh? We're gonna make 11? This list 11 and just add Trigun. Fuck it. All right.
Thank you. Let's do that. Can you give me something different?
Yes. My number 2 is going to be for my slice of life romance lover specifically. And that's the Ice Guy and his cool female colleague. Okay. This show is fantastic. I'm not choosing Reincarnated as an Exorcist or whatever the fuck it was called. But I'm choosing this because I think this is something that not a lot of people are watching. Not a lot of people are talking about, but I got a feeling that if you watch it, you will enjoy it. If you're a slice of life romance fan specifically. So I think this deserves to be on the list. Unfortunately, I'm sad that I had to choose between this and Reincarnation because I thought Till was gonna have Reincarnation, so I can't even put that in my list. So I can't do it. Ice Guy, his cool female colleague, very good show. Again, let me just, it threw me all off. This threw me all off. Let me get back to the show. This show is particularly about a guy who's a descendant from I think they call it a snow angel or some shit like that. Let me make sure I get this right. Descendant of the Yukionis, which is funny because in Inspector, that's what they just had. But he's a descendant of her. So he wears his emotion on his sleeve quite literally because the moment he's emotionally, it kind of causes something to have a physical reaction with his body. So for instance, whenever he gets too excited, snowman pop out of his body, or if he's too nervous, wherever he's like, if he's too nervous in his hands will start to freeze over, etc. He meets this colleague or this girl who is extremely cool, calm, and collective. I mean, you don't have to worry about her ever getting flustered. She doesn't really smile. She doesn't really show much emotion at all, period. And they end up meeting, and it end up becoming this extremely cute back and forth between this guy who is internally voicing his emotion, and when he does that, causes the effect of his snow powers to erupt. And you have this girl who is stone faced, bone dry, very straightforward, but nice and sweet, and just the kindest little lady that you will ever see. I think this one is definitely worth to watch. Romance wise, it's so good so far. Like
she knows them every time,
almost every time. It's adorable, man. It's a really, really, really good slice of life romance. I couldn't continue this list without it. For sure. And Tell you're number 1.
No, my number 1 is probably actually it's probably actually my number 1. And I know you're not watching this one, but it's Buddy Daddies, bro. And it's another slice of life. It is not a romance. It's about essentially 2 guys, right? Who are government hitmen, or not even government hitmen, but they're hitmen. And they go out, they take jobs specifically on like drug dealers and stuff like that, people who are out hurting others, like, maliciously and, stuff like that. But essentially, one of our main characters, or in the first episode, the guy they're taking out is he's trafficking women and whatnot. And they go in, and the little girl is told that her dad is here in this same building. He goes in, takes out the hitman, and yeah, that's like kind of first episode.
Okay, but just talk to me about what the show is about. It's about these hitmen.
Yeah. So it's these hitmen who they're friends, best friends. Okay, but they work together, and they end up adopting this little girl through forgeries and whatnot, and just going day to day with her. She is the absolute cutest little girl. Her name is Miri. But she gives you everything that Anya didn't give you. It reminds me of that Yakuza's daughter.
Yes.
Like how she is fantastic. She is the same kind of girl. just with, and I mean, it's that same kind of relationship almost. Is like they're super protective. They're obviously killers, but you know, she's well protected, but they're doing everything they can to make her have this like really good life. Her mother, well, I can't tell those details. Yeah. Yes, really, really good anime. Especially if you want something like wholesome, clean, nice to clear all the action out with. If you're watching a ton of action, which I actually don't think we're watching a ton of action this season.
I mean, we are, but we're just not talking about it. And funny enough, man, like a part of the reason why I didn't want to turn this on is because should I say this out loud? I think I'm gonna say it.
Say it out loud, bro.
It's just I love our Twitter at Mike Check Waifu, but every time I get on there's the ladies. Y'all are ridiculous with this show. And it just makes me not want to watch it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Looking at the way these ladies act. Okay, which
you're right.
Y'all are way worse than we are when it comes to like female characters. Like the men on our timeline, Mike Check Waifu specifically on our timeline, do not get this googly eyed for the females, exception Hibana. Hibana is the only one that got us like that. But I digress. The way y'all are about these buddy daddies, I'm like, okay, this seems like a boys' love now because everything that they talk about makes it seem like they love each other or something like that. Which that's
a topic for another day.
Nothing against it. I'm just, that's not my thing. But that's why I didn't want to watch it. So I actually might pick it up now.
Yeah, it's not. They are not romantically involved at all, but it's still. It's almost like you got a daughter with your best friend, but like
that's weird.
Y'all just like taking care of her. There's no like anything else. It's just trying to be a job and taking care of this little girl.
Easily number one for me. The Angel Next Door spoils me rotten. This is in a particular order for me. Yes, this is the number one anime I feel you have to be watching if you're a slice of life fan. I'll throw in that caveat because not a lot of people are slice of life fans. Not a lot of people can go into a show and not see any fists being thrown and be able to sit through 23 minutes of a show. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that, but try it. Okay, just try a slice of life. I promise it might change your life. Okay, It just might. This one is
special.
Very, very special. Like I don't even know how to begin. It's about a guy named Amane who lives the very regular side character, background character life, goes to school, comes home from school, goes to school, comes home from school, get middling grades, and just lives his life. Till one day he meets a girl that he sees on a park who is, I think it was raining out. Was it raining outside? Was the first one? Yeah, raining. It was raining outside, and she was sitting on a swing without an umbrella while he was holding an umbrella. So he selflessly gave up his umbrella to her and said, I'll take care of myself. And a lot of shit ensues. The girl that he helps end up being one of the like most popular girls in school, who is always catered to apparently. And it's just a natural, loving, growing anime with characters who don't. What did the Wonder of Ivy say?
They don't have that miscommunication plot.
Yes, that miscommunication plot that's in every slice of life romance anime. They don't have it. This feels the most natural. I talked about it at the beginning of the show, how it gave me the love don't cost a thing vibes. It's just so clean. It's just a really clean show. And I promise you, if you watch it, you will not be disappointed. I would say if you're not a slice of life fan, but if you're not a slice of life fan, it'd be just, I don't think, okay. As a newer slice of life person, do you think coming into this as a shonen only, you'll be able to get into it?
No, I think this is hard to appreciate because like you got to go through the miscommunication plots and be like, man, I can understand that, and then be like, why I hate this, and then you kind of get to that point. Like
I see
my slice of life. You started me off with like Your Lie in April, bro. Like you was like, go watch Your Lie in April, and I watched it. There's not really any miscommunication there, but there's something else driving it outside of the miscommunication.
Emotional trauma.
The Angel Next Door. The miscommunication is not driving it; it's the actual relationship. So you got to get people who aren't there yet there. A reason to be there.
My Tell 'em is the perfect episode name for you to be introduced this week because you just total. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I'm so happy to know that the manga and the light novel is still releasing. I hope we get a second season like instantly of this. If not, I might have to read it.
For sure. I can already see that because this is too it's too right.
It's too right. That's a good way of putting it. It's too right. And that is the 10 or tell you want to go through the 10 anime or 11 because we made it 11. The 11 anime you should be watching this winter season 2023.
So I'm gonna start with Polo since he's got his in a specific order.
Yeah.
His number 5 is Chilling in My 30s. Number 4 is Farming in Another World. Number 3, Campfire Cooking. Ice Guys is number 2. And then The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten is number 1 with the honorable mention of Trigun.
No, not honorable mention. The number 1.
The number 1.
Or 1-2, I should say.
1-2.
Yeah, it is.
And then you put an A on there for Nier Automata. All right. Mine is The Magical Revolution. Like I said, no specific order for mine. The Magical Revolution, Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, Tomo-chan is a Girl, Reborn to Master the Blade, and Buddy Daddies.
These lists of anime will be in the show notes. Right, Tel? You'll help me out with that?
Okay. I got you.
These will be in the show notes. So make sure you check them out there. Again, use AniList. If you're on AniList, make sure you follow us at anilist.co/user/polobornfly or / King Teliano, or not at King Teliano, just King Teliano. And you can get access to everything that we watch when we watch it. It's the perfect way of keeping track of anime. I said it 100 times. It's better than My Anime List or any of the other sites. I think anilist.co is the best place to go and follow our anime. Watch us from there. Now, to be honest, will we stop watching the shows that we did not mention in this list? No.
Well, I also want to talk about, are there any that you want to drop so far from this season?
All right. So the ones that I did drop. Let me see if I can find it. What was it? Ayashi Triangle or some shit like that? I want to find the proper name of it. But it's about these ninja. It's a shonen. And this is why I think I'm just becoming impatient with the just typical shonen. But it's about this ninja who's also an exorcist. And his best friend, his childhood best friend, this girl is gifted, I guess, where all the yokai and stuff want to eat her because she has an abundance of power. He meets this fucking cat. It's just a terrible anime. He meets this cat, he battles, and he's about to exorcise it because the cat is literally a god. And the god, he's like the god of cats or whatever. And he's about to eat his best friend. And the god of cats decide that he's going to just turn the male character into a female. And now this guy has to live as a female with his best friend because the cat didn't want the male dude to get close to the female. And they become a couple. So he turned him into a woman, which is just so fucking stupid. It's just so dumb. Even as an ecchi, it's just ridiculously stupid. That's when I dropped. I don't know if I'm gonna continue Bungo Stray Dogs until it's done and just watch the watch alongs all on Patreon together with you, so I could feel like we was sitting on the couch, you know. And then I don't know, man. I'm so sad that we didn't mention Inspector, but that's mostly for people who've seen season 1. Inspector season 2 has been really fucking good. Really good. Like really good. Spy Classroom, I like a lot still. Yep. I can't drop that. Maybe even, this is about to sound crazy, but maybe even Tokyo Revengers. Dropping it. Maybe. It might be better as a binge. I can definitely see that. Yeah. Maybe just as a binge. Relax, guys. Okay, I'm not hating on it. I think most people hear me out, and I'm not singling you out specifically, kid, but I feel like a lot of people feel like I hate these shows. I want to make one thing clear. Okay, I loved Vinland Saga. I like Vinland Saga still. I like My Hero. I like the shows, but I just can't. They don't grab me in the same way they grab most people. Maybe I'm just built diffy, you know what I'm saying?
Diffy.
That's a twitch.tv/polobornfly reference if you get that. But it's, it just don't carry with me as much as some of these other shows I mentioned. And now these other shows I mentioned, they might not even hit with you. You might be like, what the fuck is this Farming Life in Another World? It's boring. But I'm here to give people the different stuff. And if you like it, you like it. I hope you like it. And if you don't, I'm not the one for you.
I feel it.
It is.
My drops would be, and I'm gonna give it one more episode, but I'm not sure yet. Maybe two. But I feel like it's almost definitely I'm gonna be dropping Giant Beast of Ours.
Okay.
It's I don't know if I'm missing something, but it just seems so incohesive. Like there's just too much going on, but none of it is together.
No cohesion, bro. That's a good way of putting it. You know what show that I don't want to drop, but it's not good? Like, okay, it's not that it's bad. Because it's not bad. But it's also just animated poorly. And it's the one I talked about at the beginning of the season. It's the one that has a brand new studio doing it. Mm-hmm. And it's the Ice Blade Sorcerer. So rule the world. Like, it's not great. It doesn't look great at all. But I think it's one that we should watch just to support this new studio. The story is, is there. It's not a bad story. You still watching it?
Yeah.
I like it.
Put out it. He did his thing.
Yeah, he definitely did his thing for sure. And it's interesting, but it's not. I'm not gonna recommend it to everybody. I think people should watch it though to show the studio some love.
The experienced anime viewers who don't care about
looks,
it don't have to be too special.
Yeah. I don't know why I like it. I like it.
It's like that though sometimes. Like I said, to me, the Saints Magic Powers Omnipotent is one of those anime that I just didn't think everybody needed to watch, but it was good.
Bro, no, that shit was so good. It was so good. It was so good. It's still so good. It's still, you're not wrong about that. But yeah, I did just some stuff.
And then Saving 8,000 Gold in Another World. Y'all can also drop that one.
Oh yeah, you remember that was gonna be a sleeper?
It's not that it's bad. It's just it's so middling that it's okay to call it mid.
Speaking of sleeper, your sleeper is still pretty good, I think. Personally,
yeah, it's mad decent. I ain't mad at it, but it's like
must watch. Yeah,
I think that if it didn't feel like almost like it's going to lean into Power of Friendship, I would be more into it because I really like the division almost. But yeah,
I agree. It's a little slow, but not slow in the way of Vinland Saga slow, but slow in the way of progressing forward towards the main story, because the show is titled Negan Fushin, Adventurers Who Don't Believe in Humanity Will Save the World. Let's get to the saving the world part. We kind of doing these little slow side job missions, and they're fine. Maybe this is the part where it actually starts, but I think it's it's okay. It's not bad. It's not a bad sleeper. You've had some bad sleepers before, like that card game one.
I didn't even know the card game, bro. I didn't know. Build Divide.
You Build Divide. Can you believe you chose that shit? I thought it was gonna be dope too.
I can believe it. I 100% believe it.
Me too. Because I would have probably no. This seemed like it'll be all right. Yeah.
First episode was pretty solid. It was everything after that.
Exactly.
Imagine having a card game anime where the first episode is good and then you just go straight downhill. Now I'm returning every card I bought. Are you serious?
Straight downhill, man. Wow, it's wild. It's wild. It's funny to reminisce on the past, man. If y'all was listening to us for that long, shout out to y'all. But all right, let's get into this recommendation roulette. This is where one of us rolls a year, and then we give you a recommendation based on that year. We start from 2007 to 2022, and go from there. So I'm about to roll right now, and the year is 2012.
Let's go.
A little bit older this time, finally.
I don't think I was born yet.
This is a year we got already because it's I recommended this one. Hayuka, A Slice of Life Mystery. That was pretty good. I think I did. Did I?
What was it? Say it one more time.
Hayuka.
Slice of Life Mystery.
Maybe I didn't.
Sure.
Maybe I didn't recommend that one.
Is Hayuka what should be had?
No, it's just Hayuka.
HYOU.
Okay. Yeah. Did I do that one before? All right. Well, that's my recommendation. This one's fucking great. This is a great show. 22 episodes, so quite long, but it's a slice of life mystery that is extremely dope because the main character is, again, my favorite type of main character. The main character that's just like nonchalant and just kind of do his own thing, and shit just happens around him, and he just so happens to be involved in. I do think Hyuga is a very, very good show. I think I want to do a rewatch of this soon because I just miss it, and I love the art styles of it too. I really do. So Hyuga, check that show out. Slice of Life Mystery.
I think that's a good choice, even though I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna get into it eventually.
Oh my God, 2000 year was fucking fire. 2012 of me. Holy shit, you got. Oh yeah, you got. Oh, I think I remember it was Say I Love You. I think I recommended it before.
All right. I had to go back up. So the one I'm going to recommend. I just saw you. Where you at? Not Guilty Crown.
Dude,
I'm going to recommend Symphogear season 1 was pretty solid. Okay. For a musical, and it is a Sailor Moon-esque magical girl anime.
Ain't gonna touch it.
You ain't gotta touch it, Polo. Audio wise though, I think it had great audio, great visuals. It looked like I said, beautiful and everything like that. Great voice acting. It's just, girls. Action was solid, but the girly aspect of it, if you can't get past it, don't watch it. But if you can, it's pretty enjoyable.
Just a reminder, guys, those of you that don't know, the recommendation roulette is for us to pick stuff that isn't popular. Okay, so stuff we feel like people has never seen before. So shout out to Crystal, because last time we got 2012, she's like, you could have mentioned K, but K was very popular. It was very popular. So that's why we didn't mention that. Or Psycho Pass or Sword Art or JoJo's. Well, we would never.
Or High School DxD.
Yeah, exactly. Phase Zero Season 2. Like, there's some shit in here. Like, oh my God, so much good shit in that in 2012. But yeah, that's why. We're gonna take this quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna spoil My Hero. We're gonna spoil Angel Next Door, spoil Me Riding, and we're also going to spoil Eminence in Shadow. Let me find the episodes in particular because I want y'all to be prepared. So episode 17 of My Hero, episode 4 of The Girl Next Door, Spoiled Me Rotten, and episode 16. Nope, that's Blue Lock. Definitely not spoiling that because who gives a fuck. Episode 17 of Eminence in Shadows. We'll be right back after these. And welcome Black to episode 189 of Mic Check Waifu. All right, let's start. Let's get right into it. Episode 17 of My Hero Academia, season 6. This episode was amazing. Now, it took me about, I don't know, let's say 15 minutes to find out why everybody hated Endeavor. Because at first I was completely fine with everything. I'm like, okay, why do people hate Endeavor? Why do people hate Endeavor? Why do people hate Endeavor? Until the physical abuse came in. Now, at first, I was about to go off. I was about to be the fucking villain here. I was about to be the only one that loved Endeavor until I saw the physical abuse. But let me explain. All right, let me shoot my shit real quick. So
let's do it.
The Endeavor story about Toya. Yes. Did he handle it wrong? Kinda. I think he handled it in the way he understood would make sense for the situation at first. Now, mind you, I'm only talking about at first. And by at first, I mean before the physical abuse, because I don't fucking play that shit. Physical abuse came in, that's when I'm like, nah, whatever your issue is, you do not do that. I don't give a fuck who you are. Now, before that, it was his son trying his best to please his father, to get him to pay attention to him so he can surpass All Might, because that was his father's dream. He wanted to make his father happy. Right. Now he became a little possessive of that. And now instead of Endeavor sitting him down and talking to him about the situation in a fatherly manner, and by explaining, he did explain it to him. He definitely explained to him, hey, you can't do this. But instead of explaining it to him in a way a father should, he explained it to him in a way of making it seem like you're just not good enough. Was it that specifically? No, it was just because the way he is, the way he was raised, or the way he was brought up, or the way he thinks, he thought that was okay. He thought what he did was enough. He didn't completely because I thought he was beating kids' ass. I thought he was fucking these kids up. I thought he was doing all kinds of the way y'all made it seem, the manga readers made it seem, just made it seem like he was just fucking these kids up, to the whips, run on that treadmill, run on, blah, 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 blah. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that deep. He knew that if Toya stuck around him, or stuck around any heroes, period, he would try to continue to become a hero. And we know that if Toya continued to try to be a hero and try to train, he did nothing but hurt himself to the maximum, fucking burned himself every time he used his power, which fucking sucks. It sucks for Toya. It's absolutely horrible. But still, at first, I didn't think the mental break should have came as strong as it did. Maybe it was just the writing or something like that. I think that mental break was a little too abrupt for Toya. He got a little, it felt real forced at first. Yeah. Again, I'm talking about before the physical abuse. And then when all that happened and Endeavor lost his shit and started abusing his wife, that's when I'm like, okay, fuck this dude. I absolutely hate him. Again, before that, I thought he was fine. I thought he was a fine dad who just miscommunicated with his son. And that's perfectly fine. No dad is going to be perfect. Shit, my dad doesn't communicate at all. But it's and it wasn't even as bad as Endeavor. My dad was worse than Endeavor in that sense, and until the physical abuse came in. The physical abuse came in. That's when I'm like, okay, I get it now. But I think this episode was done well, but still written weird.
Yeah. I
know I wasn't the first person to say that. I forget who said it on Twitter, but somebody else said the same thing. It was just written weird.
And what was it? Was it the placement of how things came out?
No, no, because it was clear that it seemed like the writer was trying to make it known that we're not supposed to hate Endeavor before the physical abuse, of course. Remember that. We're not supposed to hate Endeavor because it's Toya latching on to what his father said. It's Toya that's right. So adamant about doing what his father told him basically not to do, because his father soon after told him look, no, you can't be a hero. Maybe it wasn't done in the right way for a kid to understand that, but You just can't. You just focus on playing with your kid. There's 100 million ways for you to do other stuff. Like even both Endeavor and his mom said there's 100 million ways for you to live your life without having necessarily be a hero. But because Endeavor wore his disappointment on his sleeve, and then they started having more and more kids, and they're like trying to slowly push him to do something that he don't know anything about, it kind of turned him into this fucking weirdo. But it just didn't feel right, because it made it seem like it would have been better if Endeavor was more of a dick towards his son for him to make that flip. Does that make sense? That's what I should have said.
More of an emotionally destructive person, right?
Yes. If he emotionally destroyed Toya to make him like this, that would have felt better. It's weird to say that. It's fucking weird to say that.
For him to be as twisted and demented as he is, right?
Yes. That's it. Again, because Toya never even saw the physical abuse to his mother, because it didn't happen until after Toya exploded. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it could have been like he was beating his mom ass, like, you gave me Toya. Toya fucking stinks. It's your fault. Like that would have sucked. And him seeing his mom get beat, but he was a part of the problem. Like he was attacking his mom. Like it didn't feel, none of that feel justified or earned or anything like that. Like it just didn't feel as strong as it should have. It could have been stronger. I liked it though.
I think that
did that make sense though? I'm sorry, Till. Did that make sense?
Yeah. I understand that point of view, and then like even like looking back at it, it's like I get it. I completely understand that point of view. I think like my issue with Endeavor, and I do think that you can make it up, but I don't think that it can be completely salvaged, was the fact that like because he wasn't absolutely berating and like vocally evil and mean to his son, but I do think that there comes a point to where like you have to realize your actions, like, because his son is malleable, you know, he wants his dad's attention, he wants his dad's love, and his actions, even though he said, you know, it's not going to be okay for you to be a hero. You're not cut out to be a hero. Let's try and find you something different. Even, no matter how he said that, because he knows what his dad's position is, he knows what his dad's biggest ambition is. Yep. Even though he was a good dad throughout all of this, right? He was like, I love my son, and he was smiling and playing with his son, all that stuff. I think part of the psychosis or psychological issue is that he watched his dad tell him, you can't help me fulfill my dream, even though that's what I've wanted from you for the whole time. He feels like he can't do what his dad always wanted. And I'm not saying that warrants a psychological break or anything like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I guess we can't really dictate how it happens. But I mean, this is an anime, so it did seem a bit extreme.
Yes, that's
like,
my
it's
issue.
Not as bad as like what Shigaraki had going on at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Shigaraki was directly getting his ass beat.
Exactly.
But I do think that it doesn't save Endeavor in the end at all, because, you know, he not only was he like that to Toya, all of his kids in between, he was also not necessarily verbally abusive to them, but visibly disappointed that the fact that they weren't what he wanted. And it's like you're now treating your kids like an accessory, as an item, as an invention, instead of like an actual person. And that in itself is mentally damaging. Like if you treat a person like an item, even though you give them everything else in the world, there are quite literally kids in this world who shoot schools for that same exact treatment.
I think he worked. You know, I think he worked. I personally think he worked. And and no offense to any of these kids, but what do these regular ass kids know anything about what's going on? They don't know anything. They don't know nothing. So yes, it's dead wrong. I'm not saying be a fucking deadbeat. I would never be a deadbeat. I was raised like my father was. Like and to this day, like I like my father fine. Me and my father has a cool relationship. When I see him, I hug him. Dad, I love you, and so on and so forth. But I'm just Bill Diffie, but I don't think just not being there as often as you could is enough to flip the fuck out. It's just not. I don't care what anybody. It's just not. It's just, and then to grow up after that and become a murderer, like an absolute murderer, when your dad is this this renowned hero, to get this fucking quote unquote payback because your dad didn't kiss you enough? Like, gotta stop.
It's the same as Shigaraki though, because Shigaraki's issue is that he felt like he couldn't be a hero even though he wanted to be a hero. Shigaraki's dad's issue, which led his dad to abuse Shigaraki, was that he felt like his mom abandoned him to save people that they don't know. Endeavor essentially was trying to do the same thing. And that's why, like I said, I think that, and I'm not saying Endeavor. I'm not saying that's not. I'm saying Endeavor is doing exactly the same thing. I'm not saying he's trying to do exactly the same thing, but I'm saying Endeavor's goal is to reach a certain level to be the number one hero. He couldn't do it, so you tried to like create a son or a child that could not be. It wasn't feasible with Toya, right? Toya can't do it. He can't be that hero because he's going to kill himself. He's going to destroy himself.
Now, mind you, Endeavor said to him, look, there's many ways for you to, now he didn't say this as nicely or nonchalantly as I can, but he did tell him there's many ways for you to live your life without needing to be a hero. He could have said, I'm sorry. He could have said, I'm sorry, son, for trying to force you to become something I wanted you to be. Yes, he could have said that. That would have completely changed anything. I don't think so.
As he, like I said, as he walked out the door to go save kids that, had nothing to do with his own. So I'm saying, I don't know. I can't. I'm saying like that. This is real psychological things that happen, though. I'm just saying this is.
If he would have saw his mom get his ass beat, that would have been more of a reason.
Yes, I agree.
This bullshit, I don't think it's enough. There's no justification for him flipping the fuck out the way he did. Maybe. Okay. Let's do this. We want to make excuses. Let's stretch then. All right. Let me stretch Armstrong with you.
I was gonna say. I mean, I can agree with you though, because I liked him more before I realized like how far this went. Right.
Yeah. It's not silly.
Endeavor. I'm talking about like I can't even remember his name, Toya. Yeah. But I can't remember his villain name. But I liked him more before. I kind of found out more about his story. But I'm not saying like I'm saying that we can't control how people react to things like that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, let's go there then. Let's make this better. Let's rewrite this for him. Let's call it a chemical reaction from his flames turning blue, from him maturing. It caused the snappage. And
it made him volatile.
It made him volatile. His mental structure when he matured and gained the blue flames, and it caused the chemical reaction for his mind to slip. It's just because, again, daddy not being home or kissing me enough is just not enough to kill 30 people. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, unless he was a part of that mental and physical abuse that he gave his wife after they lost Dabi. I mean, technically you're the reason why he became a fucking piece of shit of a man. But like,
and I'm saying like, even that, what you just said don't seem like a reason, because that is written into the lore of My Hero Academia. They said, people genetics change and they act differently based on that. So that's not a reach. That's literally written into the story. It's very possible that could be it.
Let's call it that. Kid, I don't want to hear your mouth, all right, bro? Don't write to me saying, but don't actually me, bro, all right? I haven't read My Hero. But I like that. That's better. If it's written in there, then let's just call it that. But say that in a fucking anime, because it just looks, to me personally, again, while I absolutely love this episode was skips and bounds better than the previous one. My God, it was so much better. So much better. If this was that Todoroki named one that they named it, the Todoroki, whatever the fuck, and then they went into the Hawks one, and then they ended with all of them coming into the hospital room, that would have been a much smoother transition and a much cleaner transition between the dichotomy of what they were trying to build. It would have been so sick, because it would have gave us a break from that hard, rough, abusive shit that we had to see at this last episode to Hawks, and then seeing everything that's going around in the city, and then Hawks coming in with the best genius, and they discussing with Endeavor about this, and Endeavor crying his eyes out with his family. That would have been so fire if it was just flopped. If that was just flopped, it would have been maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they aired it. Maybe they aired it wrong.
I think they wrote it like that though.
Okay. So it was in the manga like that too. That shit weird. But it was clean. This was a cleaner episode. I get it. I hate Endeavor too now. I'm on the bandwagon. He fucking stinks. He absolutely stinks as a human. But
what he's saying is he hates Endeavor, but that does not justify Dabi.
That does not justify Dabi. Nothing. That's not enough to justify Dabi at all. I wish it was though, because that would have been so much cooler. Because then I would have been conflicted, right? Like I would have been like, oh yeah, Endeavor fucking sucks. Dobby, do your thing, but no, Dobby just fucking sucks because he just sucks. Like, yes, you had your puberty and the chemical change of your cork or whatever. That's cool. That sucks. That's a shitty reason, you know? I don't want that to be the reason. But I love this episode. My hero's been so good to me lately.
I'm surprised because these last couple seasons, Polo been on a tirade.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with it regardless of how I feel. And this is all subjective. This is all just my opinion. But I fucking hated season 4 and 5. They fucking stunk. They absolutely stunk. 25% of it was good, and the rest was shit. That means it got an F. But this shit is like 95.
That's wild.
So
he was disappointed with one episode.
With one episode, bro. With one episode. And it's been great. It's been great. I loved it. Moving on. Angel Next Door spoiled me rotten.
Yeah.
Oh, so, it's a perfect show. This show is perfect.
We pick up in a great spot on this one. Oh wait, did you give us a gut check for the last one?
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh, that's a tough one, man. Gut check. We get into Deku's head. He talking to the other 8. 9? Wait, he's 9. Wait, is he 9 or is he?
I believe he's 9, but I don't think he can talk to 8.
Okay, he talking to 7 or whatever it is. And they kind of they going through it. It's gonna be that the whole episode is gonna be them talking, and then his outside friends calling out to him, Deku, come back. Deku, come back.
Oh my goodness.
No. Blame it all on me, whatever.
I was thinking the same thing. You can blame it all on me.
There it is.
We are not professional singers on
We
judges.
are not. Absolutely not. I forgot that I was recording a podcast. I was just talking to you. Shit. Yeah, no. Yeah, and then we're going to go from there. I don't fucking know. I hate gut checking my hero because you already know, so it's pointless. Anyway.
I ain't gonna say that. I don't know what's coming next. I forgot.
Stop the cap. All right.
I really don't. I think I do, but I don't know. All right. Angel Next Door spoilers, Ryan. We start off in a great, wonderful spot.
Yeah, because the last episode, they saw that she was the angel next door. Like, completely different than what we thought as far as our gut checks went. So 100% wrong there.
Way better. I like his friend so much more now.
Oh my God.
I thought he was going to be a douchebag.
Same.
But they have not failed us on making the characters in this anime likable.
From supporting to main, bro.
They haven't failed us once, bro.
I don't understand.
It's like they said, what could make the situation bad? Wrote out a whole list of 100 different things that can make the situation bad and said, all right, throw that out the window. Let's not do none of that.
Yeah, so they chilling. They enjoying the party together then. And then after that, they're just like, hey, listen, let me introduce myself. I fucking love those introductions. I love the way that they were interacting with each other. Like, right. Amane never changed. He stayed the same. Like, it was awesome. He just stayed who he is. He's like, please, he's like, please just hit. What's her name? Chiose?
Yeah.
Please just hit her. I loved it, man. I love it.
What made it better though was once the friends left. Because as soon as they left and they kind of got that time together again.
Digress, yeah.
It was like the relationship built like, and it's such a natural thing, right? They're not rushing it, they're not pushing it, but like as soon as they left, it was like that whole interaction with the couple got them to see different things within each other that kind of just like you can't tell for sure what they're feeling, but it's like they clearly see that they have a mutual interest in staying, close and staying friendly. So it just felt like as soon as that relation, or as soon as that episode, that part ended, they start to develop more within, the correlation with each other. And you can even tell physically, right? Yes. Because they were actually touching and not feeling, they had a couple of blushes here, but they were blushing, not like, oh my God, I can't believe. And they did get, a couple moments like that, but it wasn't all like that. It was like we said, no miscommunication. This is okay. And we're friends. And it was great.
You know what's so crazy about the Angel Next Door spoils me rotten?
What's that? Is spoiling you rotten?
No, is that it's just as good as More Than a Married Couple, in a completely different way. Like, I can't find myself to say this is better than More Than a Married Couple. I can't find myself to say that it's worse. I think that they're both equally good, in my opinion. They're both equally good, and they're so different. They're so fucking different. That it's hitting all the things that More Than a Married Couple didn't, and More Than a Married Couple is hitting more things that this isn't. You know what I'm saying? More Than a Married Couple gave me mystery and intrigue and just all in all, like, emotional confusion, I guess.
It gave you a bigger range.
Yes, a way bigger range. And this is giving me a more concise, perfect story of two characters that are so extremely likable. Like, the problem with this is normally when you have something like this is one of the characters is always not likable. Even when we talk about one of our favorites, My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. At first, I didn't like the black long haired girl at first. It took a while for her to grow on me, like a long time for her to grow on me. And then a lot of the characters that was around our main guy, it took a while to grow on me, but they did, and it was fucking fantastic when they did. I spent so much time with them that they could never leave my mind. But this, it was instant. It was like great characters from the start. And
with
when
every characters,
Amine has the best monologue because his monologue is so real, I guess. You know, it's just real. It's like, you know what? You doing this to me? I got you. Right back at you. And he hit her with the, you know, the light skin. Like, oh shit. He kind of get lost in her eyes, and he's like, oh, snap out of it. It's so good, man. It's so good.
It's relatable.
Very
it's
relatable.
Cute.
Yes.
It's relaxing.
When she gets sick, though.
Yeah, she got sick. Yeah, that was amazing too, because it was like that reciprocation is that yes. Because I guess realistically they're already kind of reciprocating for each other anyway. But this is like
more her, right?
Opportunity, yeah. But this is the opportunity for him to really like step up and show, like, you know, this is what you did for me, so let me give that back.
Yeah, and what I got from this mostly though is I got mostly from her perspective that she didn't want to be alone. Because he was like, you know, you choose. It's my bed or it's your room. So either I'm going to go in your room or you can go in my bed. And she's like, your bed is fine. And that made it seem like she just didn't want to be alone. On top of that, it started inching more and more towards like, hey, I don't want to be alone. Stay with me while I sleep. Oh, but you know, you don't have to do this. But then she's like, oh, but now you offered, and she wanted it again. Like, it's just, it's so good.
But what made it even more special is exactly what you said, right? She didn't want to be alone. And even what made it more special is the fact that he was getting ready to get up and walk away, but saw like the look in her eyes, said, I don't want to be alone. And he turned around. I ain't gonna lie, bro. God, so I be missing that sometimes as a grown man. Sometimes that message is you gotta be real. I miss it sometimes. And he caught on to it, and I'm trying to be like that because that'll save you. That's a smart man right there. You said what?
I'm the opposite. I catch that shit.
I know you do.
I catch that.
Apparently that's what you do. You good at that. But me, I wasn't always that perceptive. It took me some training, some time.
It's not, you know, it's not because it's not obvious. They don't make it obvious. You know, unfortunately, you just kind of have to guess and get lucky. I guess that's what I do. Most part. Anyway,
taking a shot in the dark. You good? All right, I'm gonna come.
Yeah.
But it's such a like realistic tone to it though, in terms of how these things happen and how they interact. So that's what makes it feel so special. Because it's not often we're getting something that's this cute, this wholesome, but also so realistic.
Yes, absolutely. Gut checks, bro. How you feeling?
I'm gonna cry next episode, maybe.
No.
I'm not sure, and I feel like they're inching towards it, right?
Conversation's getting deeper.
She talked about how she was at home with Kyokui, the maid, and that was the only person that she saw all day.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe you will.
So maybe next episode we're gonna get more into it. Flashback? And then he even gave us that part where he said, "You're not good for my heart," because I need to see. I need to see. So I'm feeling like we gonna get some tears next episode or something.
Bruh.
They gonna hit us with a tearjerker.
No, "You're not good for my heart" was the fact that he's fallen in love. That's the problem.
That's what it means. But it's like, what's going on? And I feel like when you fall in love, you got to get a little bit of that backstory for her.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, why ain't you living with your parents? Even though you could, what's going on? I need details.
Why didn't you get any of the attention? I still think, I don't know if I've ever said this, but I still think it's an older sister that got all the love or something like that.
That happens too a lot, right?
Yeah, like that was the number one child, and the opposite of the Dobby situation.
There you go.
Gotta love the show. It's just what pisses me off. The only thing that pisses me off about the show is when it ends. I fucking hate when it ends because I'm like, no. Same thing with More Than a Married Couple. Yeah, same thing with More Than a Married Couple. I'm like, fuck, dude, no. I need to keep going. Real good. Now, I know I said we're going to spoil Eminence in Shadow, but that was an accident. Because we're going to talk about Misfit Demon King Academy 2. Misfit Demon King Academy 2.
Episode 4.
Season 2. Has been real dope. Now, again, like I said before, previously, this fucking episode has so much dialogue that sometimes I had to pause, I had to rewind, and it's for the first time since I think Inspector season 1. I had to slow the shit down. Like, wait, what? To make sure I read everything correctly, because it's just so much. Like, they talk so much, but it's all so very important as far as progressing the story. And this is getting deeper and deeper because, to be honest, I thought I had this shit in the bag. It was pseudo seeming extremely predictable.
Yep.
It was going like extremely the way I think me and you both thought the same thing. It was the guy, obviously the girl hiding her face is the fairy queen chick that Anos told his servant, which his name is Ren, to protect, and until he came back, basically. So for 2,000 years, he was supposed to protect. Now I'm thinking this guy in his helmet is him, which it's not, but is it? Like, it's just kind of weird with that, because I do feel like they're just in a different room than maybe our main guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know how they're a little heavy on the tricks.
Yes.
So, I mean, it could be any number of, trials, because they trying to trick him every single time.
Yeah, but Anos did meet up with the hero.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell was Misa at that time? I'm so confused.
Now, Spirit King. Well, wait, we got
because I think because we both thought Ren was the Spirit King, right? Which is his servant that was helping the fairy chick, Lena, I think is her real name, but they call her Lena in the new version. And like, I thought they like maybe had a kid, and the kid was a descendant of Misa. Is what I thought. That's what everything was seeming as predictable as it was going. It was projecting to be going that route. So that's where I was like confused and had to rewind it a couple of times. Like, what the fuck is actually happening here? And when at the end he said that the Fairy King is really Misa. I'm like, what the fuck? How and when did that happen?
I mean, so it has to be it, and I guess like I'm thinking like it had to be Misa, right? And I'm only saying that because like we know initially in season 1 she was like that artificial being, how they created her. She was just supposed to be there temporarily. Once Sasha reached a certain age, she's supposed to basically
no. I think you're getting them confused. Misa is the hero's girl. Right?
Am I wrong? Yeah. We talking about the Misa
I might have said the name wrong, actually.
Oh, you know what? Yes, I'm sorry. I did get them mixed up. I'm just thinking about the names. You're right. Yes, Misa is the hero's girl. That is the one that we remember because was a fairy, right?
Yep.
Yes. 100%, yeah. And she had her awakening kind of like
exactly.
Moment.
Yep. Yeah. That's what's so confusing to me, man. I'm like, what? How did that happen, man? I don't know. You still think it's a part of the trial, maybe?
I don't. Here's my thing. I think that like kind of what we said before, and I think it's what you said, because you kind of said that they might all be some kind of descendant of
the child of God,
right? So like maybe they all have to be some kind of reincarnation of his like past helpers or whatever, and then they will all be like, you know, the it'll be like almost like Circle of Nine, but like the children of God essentially.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that, and maybe that's part of his plan for him, you know, bringing peace to the entirety of the world, was for, you know, the Demon King's council to be children of God. Maybe that would be a rectification for that. Actually, yeah, right.
I would love that. I just don't know how. What is her name? Because Misha is the white haired chick.
Yeah, Misa. You're right. Misa is right. That's
okay.
it.
So Misa. Is the fairy chick.
Yeah.
Why would she be the spirit king? Why wouldn't it be Ren? I guess that's my problem. Like, how is she going to be the one to be the spirit king when she was helping the hero fight the spirit king, which was who I thought, my assumption, was Ren, which is the guy who was supposed to protect Lena the whole time. Right? I'm so confused.
It's we're not. I don't think we're gonna know yet, because I feel like they've intentionally made this season much more mysterious, and they've made it about mind games. Straight up. And they're not necessarily telling us all the mind games being played, because the first mind game they played, Anos didn't technically straight up win. You know, Anos couldn't directly find the answer until the end of the game, more or less, but he still won by technicalities and whatnot. Yeah.
Well, so he knew that he can only win by technicality from the moment it started.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
Which is dope, right?
It's dope as fuck.
But it's like maybe this season they're trying to get us to dive into that mystery, but we do definitely still. I think we still just need more details, because it's like
maybe
there's a lot to speculate with, but not enough to 100% draw a conclusion. We can't be NYC detectives on this one yet,
bro. It's so much too. Like, it's so much.
Yeah, and I mean, even like, and I was thinking about Misha's manifestation of the castle, which they said Misha created a god when she did that, or like a demigod because she was working on there. So it's like they all have to have something that's linking them to that, and maybe it could be even something like artifacts that are tied to them or something. I'm not sure yet.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
They all have, because technically with the sword is an artifact. Because they were talking about how they had half the sword, so maybe they have to, you know, correlate with their artifact or something, bro. I'm not sure yet.
Which is the sword that,
some details.
If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I could be remembering this wrong, but which was the sword that Ren was using to protect the spirit lady back in 2,000 years ago. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard to even know where this is going, but I still love it, man. I still like it so much. It's very convoluted this season, though.
The thing that makes me love it, though, is the fact that we can get action at any point, but we also get story at every point. Yeah, and they keep giving us that, and that's what makes Misfit Demon King so cool, is because the whole time they fed us story in season 1, and it's like they didn't forget about that when they you know, they got a bigger budget and said, we're not gonna forget about that. We're gonna keep giving y'all a story.
And it looks good.
Yeah, it looks great. We just need. It's not that I don't want to hurry past the mystery. I just want to get more details about the mystery. I want the mystery to be able to be
explained. Yeah,
explained and give us a decent wrap up to it, and let's see where it continues to go. Because like Misfit Demon King, it hasn't disappointed yet. So I can't wait to see where it actually unfolds and what it really drives into for the series.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of fucking just knowledge to take in. But when you take it in, it's worth it, man. It's worth it. Yeah. Silverlink is doing a hell of a job. I think they should be proud of what they got so far. And I'm at Polo Bornflower on all social media.
I'm at King Tiliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mike Check Waifu on Instagram and TikTok. And as always, Mic check.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu Waifu.